and welcome back to Full Cup Astrology. I'm Jen Keen, and today's video is about the Aquarius Full Moon. It is kicking off August 1st for us at 11:31 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And in this video, I'm going to give you a general overview of the full moon in Aquarius and what that means and what that general energy can feel like. And then I'm going to get into the sign by sign breakdown and give you a more specific indication and idea of what this energy holds in store for you. And if you're liking videos like this, please hit the like and subscribe, and you'll get notifications for my moon updates. But I'm also putting out videos in between now for some important transits that come along, so that you have all the up-to-date information on the energy that's happening. And there's a lot coming at us this summer, so stay tuned so that you know what energies are at play and what is really going on that's significant in your life. To everybody who is already liking and subscribing and commenting, thank you so much. It is really exciting to see and watch the channel grow. So let's get into it. The Aquarius full moon, this is happening at 9 degrees. So if you are an Aquarius or you have planets at 9 degrees, this moon might feel a bit more impactful for you. But for everybody, there is going to be a sense of something new, some revelation, something that is pushing us forward into that which is new and innovative and humanitarian and connects us with others. So given that we're still in the thick of this Venus retrograde, which means everybody's going over topics around love and connection and pleasure, there could be a little bit more emphasis on larger groups at the time of this full moon, and what love and connection do we get from larger groups? Are there ways that we can innovate our lives and innovate the ways that we connect with larger groups and networks and people in a way that helps us feel more love and more pleasure? There's two big energy patterns that coincide with this full moon, and I want to talk about those energies between other planets and how the energy going on at the same time is likely to affect the full moon. So one of the big and first energies that I want to talk about is Jupiter and Mars. They are in positive conversation that we call a trine, but Mars is a bit edgy. Mars is considered malefic, and Mars can represent conflict and battle and aggression. And so for some people, it might be that there is an overdoing of that energy. So if you're triggered in any kind of anger or frustration way, Jupiter could amplify that. Jupiter could bring healing to that as well. Okay, so a little bit deeper into the woods now, and fewer distractions from the trail, but a few mosquitoes to tend with. So bear with me if I start swatting around. Okay, so this is a full moon where we can basically expect some overindulgence, some overexpression of emotion, yet at the same time there's restriction and a little bit of discerning and restructuring around vocabulary and what we say. So this aspect of Jupiter and Mars certainly can make us kind of all out there, like indulging, expressing, feeling really passionate. If you have a reason to be passionate, you're going to be feeling it a whole lot more. If you have a reason to be angry or frustrated or taken into action in some way, you're going to be feeling that a lot more. Jupiter might be coming in to heal some of those feelings as well. So if you're feeling agitated and frustrated, Jupiter could bring you that higher wisdom and perspective that just simmers down those emotions a little bit. But watch out for some of these things and know that this is a phase where there is some activation of this energy, and you can choose to engage in it Or what I do sometimes is just pound my bed and the pillow and get a little bit of that frustration out and then go deal with the situation. If it's for pleasure and you're having a good time, and Jupiter is sometimes called bohemian, so if you like to, it's a good time of year for that, just indulge and have a really passionate, fun, outgoing time. This could also bring that to you. So I hope that there's lots of fun with that part of the aspect. Pluto continues to square the nodes, but at the time of this moon, this is exact. So what that means is what's happening right now is a part of our destined path. It is a part of what is shifting at this time as far as destined focus, and that I think I touched on more in the last video. So that was when the nodes changed signs at the last new moon. So if you want to check that one out, that'll give you a bit more information about that destined path. But keep in mind that that is a story that's still unfolding right now. So the second big aspect, or the one that's a little bit stronger in the sky right now, is Mercury opposing Saturn. And that Mercury's chatty. Mercury is expressive and analytical, and it likes to overthink. So with this increase of energy that there typically is at a full moon, and then the intensity of a Jupiter-Mars vibration, chatter and words could be springing off everywhere. And Saturn opposition is the grandfather teacher that is stern and disciplined and wants to take a different perspective on some of the free flowing speech that could sometimes be problematic or hurt people, or just not be really truthful and authentic. So Saturn's going to slow that down. So we have a very contrasting mix of energy there. On one hand, a full moon is always heightened energy and things are coming to fruition, and Mars and Jupiter are really expanding this intense vibration. And then there's this restrictive quality of Saturn. So you might feel that there's a lot of contrast in some of the energy that you're experiencing around this time. So one of the milder aspects at the time of this full moon that I think is worth mentioning is the Venus square Uranus. And it happens exact 10 days after this full moon, but I think it's worth mentioning because we're going to feel the energy building towards that, and some people might feel it a little bit early. Venus is officially retrograde, which means that it's slowing down, and it makes a more inward expression of what Venus naturally does, which is pleasure and beauty and romance. And I have the last video I did was a special on just this Venus retrograde, but it's important because Venus is going back to redo something. So whatever it's going back to redo is important enough that we have to go back and redo it. So that's why a Uranus aspect at this time. Uranus is a curveball, it's revolutionary, it is expect the unexpected, and whatever you imagine might happen, it's probably not it. So there could be some surprising energy that starts to unfold. And if it doesn't happen on August 1st at the time of this full moon, it's likely to happen the weekend following or sometime within that 10 days. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for surprises. Remember that the focus right now really has to do with fated direction and romance and beauty and love. And on top of that, an Aquarius full moon is going to bring something that is new and revolutionary. So Aquarius is an energy of community, connection. It rules the internet. It rules systems without a center. So the nervous system is included in that. I guess I've heard markets as well be included in that. It's really just communities and areas where there's a lot of buzz and a lot going on, but it's innovative. So for a lot of people, this is going to be something coming to fruition or an insight of what is new that can bring you towards better love, better connection with others, better communication, and yeah, out with the old and in with the new. But Aquarius also likes to keep a little bit of tradition. It likes to keep what was working well with the old systems and still create something new. So look for that, and I look forward to hearing how this is affecting each and every one of you. Please let me know in the comments below. And let's get into the sign by sign. Hi Aquarius, this is your full moon. So happy full moon 2023 to you, and I hope you're having a lot of fun out there. This full moon is happening in the area of your chart that has to do with yourself, but because it's a full moon and the moon and sun are in opposition, the sun is in your partnership sector right now. So I think this, for a lot of Aquarians out there, is going to have a lot to do with partnership. Jupiter is in your 4th house, so you are getting beams of blessings from home and family. You might be having a lot of fun at home. So you might be enjoying yourself and enjoying a lot of pleasures at home. There could be generally some gifts coming from that part of your life. Mars and Mercury are in your 8th house. So I think that you, if this has to do with relationships, Aquarians out there are very likely they're in some discussion about topics with money and connection with other people. So it could be someone else's resources. There could be discussion and maybe even frustration around resources, where they're coming from, how they're coming, what to do with them. Maybe you're having arguments with people about how to manage resources or intimate connections. So you could be triggered in some frustration around psychological things from the past, and at the time of this full moon, this is a really good time to acknowledge that and clear it, because very likely whatever's happening in this current moment is not the past moment. It's not as worthy of the aggression and frustration that can show up as perhaps the past moment that's maybe similar to this. So keep an eye out for that. I think this could be really clearing for you, Aquarius, what parts of yourself and your psychology are not serving you anymore, and how could you let those go to move into more closeness with someone else. Saturn in your 2nd house is adding a piece of repression in your self-worth. So that could be a piece of the intimacy that is all tied together. So if there are parts of your self-worth that are challenged right now, or that you're feeling a little less abundant, and Saturn is in your 2nd house, so this indicates to me that there's a feeling of restriction around worth and assets, and this could be internal or external. So I have a feeling that for some of you there's actual money stuff going on, and that's an area to really analyze and decide what works for you and what doesn't, and there might be some epiphany at the time of this full moon. But for some of you, this is more of a psychological internal process around worth and assets. And if you're feeling a little restricted in that department, just know that this is going to shift and fade away. But the attention that it's seeking is there something you can let go of that helps you feel more abundant and helps you feel like you have more to give and receive when it comes to your close connections. So let me know how this one's going, Aquarius. I look forward to seeing you next time. Hi Pisces. This full moon is happening in your 12th house. So for you, this could mean that something hidden is coming into visibility. This could mean that you actually don't see a lot of what's coming up at the time of this full moon, and it is your blind spot. It is what's hidden from you. So this might feel more subtle to you at this time. The Jupiter Mars is happening in your 3rd and 7th house. So you're probably having an abundance of short distance travel trips. Maybe you're enjoying a lot of pleasure with your neighbors and or siblings. Blessings in communication. Maybe you're feeling more communicative or more busy in your mind these days, but hopefully in a positive way with Jupiter there. But the Mars and Mercury is in your 7th house, so there's some intensity coming from other people that's coming at you. So very unlikely that you are feeling this frustrating Mars energy as much as that you're seeing it in other people, and maybe you're bringing a bit more of that Jupiterian healing perspective to others that are having a little bit more of a frustrated, heated time right now. Or maybe other people are just really excited and motivated and driven, and a lot of movement in that area for you. Saturn is in your 1st, so you're generally going through a period where you might be feeling a little bit more restricted in yourself, in your psychology, in how you move about in the world. So there might be some dominant people in your life right now, and all of the energy is focused on other, and you're having to hold yourself back in some way. So if that's the case, I think it looks like it's something that is probably necessary for a short time being. You might be enjoying a little bit more private time with somebody else as well. So maybe you're just spending time secluded from the rest of the world with a significant person in your life, and there's some passion and fun energy there too. So hopefully that's how it's turning out for you. But just know that if there is any kind of spiciness or excitement from other people at this time, that with Saturn in your house, you're gonna have all of the right things to say at the right time, and you're gonna be probably feeling pretty disciplined with how you interact with those people. So hope that this moon is a fun and beautiful one for you, Pisces. We'll see you next time. Hi Aries, this full moon is happening in your friendship sector, so you're likely, more than any other sign, enjoying time with friends and community, and it is blessing your house of assets and worth. So you are probably feeling on top of the world. You're feeling really confident in yourself, and you're feeling good about where you are as far as your assets and where you put your money and where you put your energy and all of those things. Also how you take care of your body. You might be indulging in food and pleasure and things that we ingest more than some other signs. So sounds like I think you're having a lot of fun out there, Aries. Mars and Mercury are in your 6th house, so you probably do have a lot of work going on at the same time, a lot of day-to-day stuff. With Mars, Jupiter being 6th and 2nd, you're probably working a lot, having more resources. That's probably feeling pretty good. Saturn's in your 12th house, so you're getting restricted with time alone. That's not something you're doing at this moment. The Saturn Mercury might mean that there might be some communication that's going on a day-to-day level, that you might be getting subconscious messages of how to hold back and how to navigate your words around people that you work with, or potentially employees if you have them. So keep that in mind if you're getting those little feelings and nudges inside. For me, and I don't always listen to it, but I'm starting to, I'll be in the middle or about to say something and I get this like, hold on, don't say that feeling. You might be getting some of that, and this is an opportunity to practice listening to that voice and using language that is going to be advantageous to you when it comes to work and your employees and the stuff you do on a day-to-day basis. So enjoy, Aries, and I'll see you next time. Hi Taurus, this full moon is all about your career and your status and your public image. Jupiter is in your house, so you are getting beautiful, abundant blessings all year from this aspect. The trine to Mars and Mercury is happening in your 5th house, so to me that speaks to a lot of fun, a lot of pleasure, joy, creativity. It could be dating and romance and love and sex and all of those fun, pleasurable things. Saturn's in your 11th house, so Taurus out there, you might be reevaluating your communities and your networks and the bigger groups that you hang out with. Maybe you're, with some of this energy, maybe you're dating somebody new, and kind of merging communities is something that's happening, and naturally some have to go. You don't have room for everything. But whatever's happening for you right now, Taurus, it is all blessings. Even if stuff that's challenging comes up at the time of this full moon, I really don't see it to be anything that's going to rock you too much. I mean, you are Taurus after all, so you can handle quite a bit, and it doesn't really rattle you, but it looks like a lot of fun. So you know what, Taurus, if you're ever going to get a little riled up, go with some of that energy at this time of the full moon, and I think it's going to just bring you more pleasure and enjoyment. So let yourself loose a little and enjoy all of those pleasures that Taurus likes to indulge in. See you next time. Gemini, this full moon is happening in your 9th house. So for you, this could have to do with foreign places, foreign people. This could have to do with learning, potentially a course or higher academia is coming to an end, some higher learning of some kind. Or maybe you're just having an epiphany, but having an epiphany about how you perceive the world, your world perspective, your spiritual perspective, and how the world works. That could be going through some shifts for you, especially with Jupiter in the 12th house. You're very likely expanding your ability to psychically connect with the unseen world. It could be coming to you in dreams. It could be coming to you in feelings. It could be coming to you so many different ways. I mean, maybe with Mars and Mercury, maybe even through actual communication from the unseen world. So your intuition is on high, and I think that you're going to notice, especially at the time of this Aquarius full moon, that you're reaching a culmination point of what you've been working on to decipher some of that connection to the unseen world. Yeah, and it might be travel is the other thing. It might, if those spiritual topics don't feel like a fit for you, then maybe you're planning a trip overseas, or a trip to a foreign place, or a trip that you've never been before. So that could be the case. Your 4th house, your home, is where there might be a source of frustration, and it could be coming through words and communication somehow. Saturn is in your 10th house, so you're going over restructuring around your career and your public image and how you're seen in the world. The home and the Mercury-Saturn opposition with home and career, it might be that you have a lot of demands at home right now, and those are opposing forces, all of the attention that you usually or would like to put on career, or vice versa, that somehow they're in competition for each other at this time. So just keep that in mind. It's a phase and it's going to pass, but those are some of the things that you might feel that might trigger some frustration. And when it does, hopefully it brings insight into how to navigate that in a smooth way, and know that it will pass. But whatever's going on out there, I hope it brings lots of blessings with home and career and foreign places and foreign people, and I will see you next time. Hi Cancer, this full moon is happening in your 8th house. So this is all about other people's resources. You might be getting a big payout from your taxes or from your partner. Your partner might be getting a big payout, and that is something that is coming to fruition at this time. And if it's not actual money from other people or resources from other people, you could be going through more of a psychological healing at this time, and it might have to do, on a more energetic level, it might have to do with your spiritual, intimate connections, what intimacy means to you and how you connect with significant people in an intimate way in your life. So you can look forward to that, Cancer. There's probably some innovation in intimacy, maybe with communities or with your humanitarian work, if that's something that you're doing. Jupiter in the 11th, the trine to Mars in the 3rd, this is blessings from your friends, your networks, your community, your allies. So there's a lot of positive action happening there, and it's probably having a really positive effect on your mind and your daily thoughts, your speech, your neighbors, maybe short distance travel. Maybe you're going on some summer holiday and doing some road tripping with some friends, and that could be how this energy plays out. Saturn is affecting your 9th house, so there's a little bit more, there's something about your perspective of the world that is asking to be restructured at this time. So it might be putting a temporary restriction on your spiritual process or foreign travel or education or higher learning. So that's an area that maybe all these fun short trips are putting education and spiritual practice on the back burner for now, and there's a bit of tension balancing that. So yeah, I hope that this full moon is bringing lots of fun and big psychological blessings for you, Cancer. See you next time. Hi, Leo. So this full moon is happening in your partnership house. So for a lot of Leos out there, it's likely that a relationship is coming to fruition. During a Venus retrograde, it's less likely that someone new is coming into your life. If it is, there could be some lessons around that, or it might not be, things just might not be what they seem initially. And when Venus goes direct in September, whatever's happening will change. But if it's someone from your past, Venus is likely at the time of this full moon helping you realize that there's a new level or potentially an ending that this relationship is going to go to. So it's going to be mixed for everybody, but significant partnerships are definitely highlighted at this time. You are getting a lot of blessings in your 10th house from Jupiter, and the trine is happening with Mars and Jupiter from your 2nd to your 10th. So self-worth, finances, assets, those things are all benefiting your career, or your career is benefiting those. So a lot to look forward to there. Some Leos, you have Saturn in the 8th house, so there might be some sort of restriction with other people's resources, restriction with taxes or payouts, or something that you've been waiting for might be delayed. If it's intimacy, it could be that you're just focusing on what intimacy means to you and how to restructure that when it comes to your closest partnerships. So there could be some tension between Mercury and Saturn, and that means that, at least what it looks like, this isn't the case for everybody, but it looks like there could be questions around your self-worth and your expression of worth that are restricting or causing delays with finances. So Leo, the 2nd and 8th house opposition, you're very likely experiencing some feelings of tension around your resources and other people's resources, or on an energetic level, this is more about your self-worth and how you show up in intimate situations with other people. So I think this full moon is going to show you where things are at with other people, and it's going to have an effect on your feelings around finance and connectivity in some way. So Either way, this is really highlighting a new level for relationships, a breakthrough, something revolutionary, and better connection with your loved ones. So enjoy, Leo. Hi, Virgo. This full moon is happening in your 6th house. So for many Virgos out there, this is a fruition point with work or health. So something could come to light around work, employees, health that is maybe finishing a chapter for you when it comes to those matters. Jupiter is bringing blessings in your 9th house, and now the trine is happening to your 1st house. So this is beautiful energy for Virgos. Jupiter aspecting the 1st house with a positive trine is like you are going to feel that light and fun and flowy energy. I mean, you also have Mars and Mercury in the 1st house. So there's going to be this mix of feeling, and this is going to go on for a little while, and depending on where your ascendant is, if you're a Virgo rising, this, or where your sun is, like the exact degrees, because Jupiter is trining your 1st house as long as it's in Taurus until next May. So this is bringing a lot of healing to your body. This is bringing healing to your psychology. So it's fitting that this full moon could have a very healing effect, given that it's in the house that represents illness and work and slavery in the past and those sort of more gloomy topics. So Mars and Mercury in your 1st house, though, Virgo is already really chatty and analytical, and this is going to intensify that even more with Mars there. In that you could just be really passionate and have a lot of mental capacity and able to just talk and not get tired and get things done and start those projects that you've been meaning to do and all of those sort of things. But Jupiter could be amplifying anger and frustration for you, or it could be amplifying this energy of go-getting, and maybe both. So at times there could be some triggers of more of an aggression in you. Channel that energy into exercise and moving your body or getting those projects done. Not to bypass what's actually happening and causing frustration. Definitely address that. With Mercury there, you're probably going to it's going to be the gift of gab. So if stuff is frustrating you, you're going to have no problem at all telling other people how you feel and where your boundaries are. And actually that leads me into Saturn is in your 7th house. So it is all about boundaries with other people right now. And this full moon, there might be a lot of that energy going on where you're just ready to express differently and express clearly and passionately whatever it is that's going on for you. And that might have might bring a really positive culmination to health and work and your day-to-day activities. So let me know how that's going for the Virgos out there. I hope you're enjoying these Jupiter trines to your 1st house, and it hopefully bringing a lot of pleasure and joy this summer, and I'll see you soon. Hi, Libra. This full moon is happening in your 5th house. So for some, this could have to do with children. So if you have children, maybe something is coming to fruition in the lives of your children. If you are hoping to have children, you might give birth around this time. That could definitely be a possibility for some of you. But generally, for most people, it's going to have to do with a fun, creative project, or joy, or your hobbies, what those things mean to you, and it's going to really be the focus at this time of this full moon. So Jupiter in your 8th house is potentially expanding intimate connections. It's potentially expanding your opportunity to be supported by other people's resources. So if that's going on, I hope that is bringing lots of blessings with financial opportunities. And Mars and Mercury is in your 12th house. So you're not going to feel the effects of this quite as much. In fact, Libras out there, you might feel the urge to retreat a little bit more, to repress anger, or you might not even feel anger at all, or passion might feel a little dead, or passion could just be hidden and tucked away from the rest of the world right now. So maybe you're spending more time in the bedroom. Those are some 12th house topics. Saturn is in your 6th house, and it is teaching you discipline and structure around your day-to-day tasks. So for Libras out there, there might be more discipline and structure that's required at work right now. You might be going over some things that just need more attention and more scrutiny and more structure. So it looks like a good balance of fun and pleasure. So for a lot of Libras out there, this could be that you're working on a creative project and Saturn is asking you to go over some of the mundane tasks. That creative projects are fun, but they need structure. They need day-to-day schedule, and that's what really brings the creativity and joy into success. So there's some balance happening there. You might get an announcement at this time of resources that are coming in that are helping your project get off the ground. So that's an example for some Libras. Generally, I think this full moon is showing you, Libra, what brings you joy, where your creativity is, and your hobbies. Maybe something's coming to an end and you're finding you like something else better. But whatever it is, there might be something from the past that is coming back up, and this could also have to do with love and fun and dating and pleasure in that way. So Libras, this is a really fun house to have a full moon, so enjoy, and I hope it's a really playful one for you. Scorpio, this full moon is happening in your 4th house. So this is a culmination of something to do with home and family and your internal world. Jupiter is in your 7th house, so you're getting blessings from your partnerships at this time, and it has to do, the trine with Mars, there's a lot of activity for you in communities and your bigger, larger networks and allies. So it looks like you're having a lot of fun with your partner and your community and enjoying maybe also time at home. Maybe you're hosting at home with community around this time. There's a bit of restriction or restructuring when it comes to your creative projects and your joy topics of children, maybe with your children themselves if you have them. But Saturn is in your 5th house, and so there's some sort of, if you have a creative project and an audience, there might be some tension or opposing energy between what you want to do and what your audience expects of you, or comments from your audience on your creative project that bring a little bit of tension. But there's mostly blessings coming from other people. So I don't see it being anything challenging if there's some opposing energy when it comes to your creative forces. Maybe you're working in a team of other people and there's some stuff to work out there, but one person comes along and just saves the day and brings this healing energy and this opportunity for resolution and mutual understanding. So for you, Scorpio, this full moon is activating your inner world. So whatever's happening with partnerships and your community and your creative projects and your joy, the real topic, I mean, there could be actual stuff coming up with your family and home and coming to fruition, but on a deeper, more internal level, something inside of you is coming to fruition, or you're getting some big insight, or something that you held on to from internally that was passed down through generations through your family is being let go of it at this time, and opening you up to more love and fun and creativity and joy with your favorite partnerships. So enjoy, Scorpio. Hi, Sagittarius. This full moon is happening in your 3rd house. So this could have to do with your siblings, your close neighbors, something to do with short distance travel, or your mind. Your day-to-day mind is coming to fruition, or you're having some big insights, or something is coming into your awareness at this time. Jupiter is blessing your 6th house, so you are experiencing blessings and expansion when it comes to work. Maybe you're getting a lot of work projects and you're learning how to juggle a whole lot more in your day-to-day. That could, right now, there are really the beautiful trine aspects between Mars and Jupiter are happening in your 10th house and 6th house. So I think for Sag, this is huge when it comes to career. And there's a bit more restriction with your home life as a result. So that's the energy at the time of this full moon. I think you're going to be really work focused. Maybe a work project is coming to fruition, and this will be the turning point where you get to take your foot off the pedal for a little bit and take a break. But your drive and your energy right now is all in career and how you're seen in the world and your public image. So for some of you that could be changing, but for most of you it is just a time where you're putting a lot of energy into work, and the blessings and payoffs are showing up as well. So whatever's going on in the 3rd house at this time when it comes to communication, maybe even short distance travel, I think for Sagittarians out there, I mean, let me know what's going on in the comments below, because I'm curious about this 3rd house full moon for you guys. I really think more of the focus is on all of these work blessings and all of the Mars energy. I mean, Jupiter is your ruling sign, and it is in the 6th house of work and employees and your day-to-day activities and habits. So yeah, curious, you guys tell me, and I will see you next time. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. This full moon is happening in your 2nd house. You're really coming to fruition or culmination point of your worth and your assets, maybe where you spend your energy and how you spend your money, or how you enjoy food and pleasure through that means. Those things might be coming either to an end or reaching a new level of change for you. Jupiter is in your 5th house, and that is bringing a lot of expansion to your creativity and your children. Joy, fun. So Capricorns out there, dive into that fun energy. This is a really good time for that, and I think it's going to pay off for you when it comes to your confidence and self-worth, and how you treat your body, and how you ingest things that nourish you. Mars and Mercury are in your 9th house, so your passion is all about learning at this time, spiritual perspective, your perspective on the world. You might be doing a lot of research and a lot of having a lot of mental focus on these topics. Astrology is there as well, so if some of you are diving into that, you're going to be really passionate about the potentially creativity around those things as well. Saturn is in your 3rd house, so you might be feeling you're either mentally restricted in that your lower mind, like your day-to-day tasks, aren't as big of a focus as looking at the bigger picture. So some of the mundane frustrations that you might have are not there because you're focusing on the bigger picture and the higher perspective of things. But there might be some restructuring of your mind and habits that Saturn is asking you to do. And that might be causing some tension between your higher perspective as well. So something going on with opposing energies from your day-to-day mind and your higher mind, and what that looks like for you on a day-to-day basis, Capricorn. How do you operate with topics that getting mundane tasks done, but also keep this higher elevated spiritual state of mind as well? So there's going to be some nice balancing to do there. Overall, this looks like a pleasure full moon, Capricorn. You might realize that there's something that you're eating or doing that's not working well for your body, and that could come to an end at the time of this full moon. I look forward to hearing how this one is going for you, Capricorn. Let me know in the comments below. And that's our Aquarius full moon. So it's kind of a question mark for me for a few of the signs, and I did mention that at the end of each individual one, where I was a little bit more stumped on what exactly this full moon could look like. So I look forward to hearing from you guys on this one. Let me know in the comments below how this moon is playing out for you, and in general how this this Venus retrograde is going for you. We're just about a week in at the time of this full moon, and so these topics of love and dating and pleasure and joy are still a big theme across the board when it comes to this full moon and some of the other energy that's playing out. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Today I am recording from Pacific Spirit Park near UBC in Vancouver, British Columbia. I tucked myself deep in the woods to try and get away from the noise of the path, so hopefully that was effective, and thanks for joining me. Bye.